Tommy,
How's it going, man?
how you doing, man?
Man, this past week has been crazy, but I've been doing so good, man. I've been in a really good mood recently.
Good, man. Good. Well, with that in mind, this is episode 71. We are 4 days away from SummerSlam. But before we talk about that, let's get this show started. Why don't
Got to
we?
hit with the little music, man.
Have to.
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
We are 4 days away from WWE SummerSlam 4. We've been talking about this for months. And we are finally here this Saturday, WWE SummerSlam, followed by the next night, NXT Takeover 36.
Isn't that crazy? I got a DVD back in my new place that says like the best NXT Takeover matches, and it's got a match from the first ever Takeover, and that was 7 years ago, and now we're at 36.
Wait a minute, your new place looks like your old place.
No, I'm at my old place right now. I'm back at home right now.
Okay.
Not here today.
Wait a second. I'm like, that's a similar background.
No, I'm back at home right now. But yeah, my new place about 45 minutes away. I got a new movie up there that's got some old takeover matches. But yeah, man, it's crazy. I feel like I joined right before SummerSlam last year. We were kind of talking about, the whole pandemic era getting started. And I remember sitting there and watching SummerSlam live at my friend's house, who I now live with. And Roman Reigns came out, and here we are. And we got Roman Reigns versus John Cena. I mean, what a main event. What a year it's been.
So how do you feel about the interactions between John Cena and Roman Reigns with the promos in the ring? We find out recently that Roman Reigns has been basically unscripted and given more free reign in his promos, which for the past probably the whole year now, and which I feel like the reason why Roman Reigns has actually done better because he's not scripted. I mean,
that's surprising. WWE doesn't script their promos, and the people actually enjoy them. Yeah, man, I've enjoyed.
Well, this is only for Roman Reigns that we know of. I don't know who else is getting free reign. Maybe Orton, maybe Cena.
Yeah. Sure, Cena for sure. I mean, it's just like The Rock. I almost feel like they're in the same kind of boat. But yeah, I've enjoyed their interactions. It does give a little bit of a real feeling. This last week, the name drops of Dean Ambrose. There was just a little bit more realism to it. It just makes it more interesting. Honestly, WWE has been so stale, and I almost feel like Cena's kind of. I think this was kind of a given. We all kind of knew it would happen, but Cena's given a jolt to the WWE product. I feel like Cena with the whole he just had the Suicide Squad come out, but obviously he's a WWE guy. He's a WWE lifer. People know him for his WWE career more than somebody like The Rock, who's fully transitioned into Hollywood. I've enjoyed it. I'm excited. I'm really excited for their match on Saturday. I'm still riding with Cena, and there may be a little bias in there just because I grew up a Cena fan. He was in my era, but yeah, man, I've enjoyed their program so far. I think it's been quite entertaining. Just the fact that they were able to name drop people and just go off script, like it the whole non-scripted promos thing. And I heard a report that Vince liked that, the fact that they were non-scripted. It just makes them more interesting. It just makes it feel more real, and we see that with AEW and stuff now, and even Impact, like these different companies that are letting the wrestlers just kind of speak their minds and be the real humans that we know they are. They're all people in their own way. Like it's been refreshing in the same thing, but it also makes it seem like Roman and Cena is the only real thing on the card, kind of. I mean, Edge and Rollins have been doing a good job as well, but you can tell what's a non-scripted promo and what is a scripted promo now, especially with these two going at it.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, they went off script. They never stuck to a script. They were never scripted. They were given free reign, and they were basically two of the greatest talkers in that Attitude Era for sure.
Their promos and their segments are always great. Like, and I feel like that's the same thing with Cena and Roman. Every time they're both out on the screen, Roman for the past year and Cena for the past the past month or so it's much watched television. Their segment that they had this past Friday was almost 30 minutes long and was absolutely perfect. It was enjoyable. It set up the story really well and it was real.
So, Tommy, before we move forward, we got a couple of viewers. Those of you guys that are watching, feel free to leave a comment. We want to hear what you guys think. This is your show. We want to hear and interact with you guys. Feel free to leave comments of your thoughts about what's going to happen this Saturday between John Cena and Roman Reigns. Tommy, let me ask you, that being said, does Roman Reigns drop the title this Saturday night?
Yes. I told you, man, there's a little bit of bias in there just because John Cena's from my era. He was my favorite as a wrestler growing up, but it is the AEW effect. And I don't think WWE wants to admit that. I read a report that they're not going to make any drastic changes to what's going on. If CM Punk comes out on Friday, I think we see a big move on Saturday. And I think that should be Cena winning. I think that it's the kind of thing where Cena getting his 17th belt. We just saw Ric Flair leave the company. He showed up at AAA with Andrade. That's a big move. Yeah, obviously, that's a big thing in the wrestling business.
So, do you think that there might be a slight retaliation there with Flair showing up on another programming?
Exactly.
Okay, let's give John Cena the 17th title that has been hinted at for 3 years now. Let's have Cena be the guy to have the most championships of all time.
I mean, why not? I mean, I don't see Charlotte staying now that Ric Flair's gone. Andrade is gone. I think Charlotte might leave.
However, Charlotte is the key player. She knows it. She knows she has a very good position, and she knows that she's going to be offered a lot of money. So it can go both ways. She can go to AEW and make life a lot easier and be with Andrade, and they can travel on the road together. Yeah. So that's one aspect of it. But she can also stay in WWE.
She'd be a huge benefit to that AEW women's roster. She would be a huge star. But I mean, what's the hurt in putting the title on Cena? I mean, you can take it off of him at at Survivor Series in a few months.
I don't think you give him a long run. Definitely not. I don't think he holds it to WrestleMania, but
no, of course not.
They could have a return match with Roman Reigns winning for sure. But Roman Reigns has had such a good title reign, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't know if I'm ready to see the title being dropped off of Roman Reigns just yet.
I agree with you on that aspect. I just think of all the people that he's faced, Cena is the most likely to do it because you have a compelling story. The fact that Cena is going for that 17th title, the fact that Roman can easily and believably get it back at a different pay-per-view, and the fact that Cena does not have to defend it. This isn't going to be his United States title run where he's defending it every week. This is something that you could do on a monthly, they've done it with Lesnar. Make him do it every 2 months. What Survivor Series is in November?
Brooklyn, baby! Exactly. Near my hometown. I am going. Survivor Series is probably going to suck.
Oh, which I'm sure, but
it's probably going to suck. But you would hope not, though. It's Brooklyn. They got to do a good show there because, Brooklyn, the crowd are going to boo the living hell out of everything that WWE does if they put out a show like the last couple of years.
And that's the thing is that this is a big match that they could use.
And listen, we can't forget Big E is floating around with that suitcase.
Honestly, I wouldn't be upset if Cena won and then they immediately drop it, give it to Big E. I wouldn't be upset with that at all.
I'm leaning more towards Big E cashing in on the winner of Goldberg and Lashley.
Okay, I can see
I
that.
think so.
I just think that there is a good enough. I don't know if it's going to happen, obviously, but I think there is a good enough story that you could tell that could last a Survivor Series where you need a big match.
Oh, not to mention, we can't forget we have Finn Balor waiting in the wings. He's gone on. He went on saying that he wants John Cena after SummerSlam.
Now, if I saw a Cena and Finn Balor match at Survivor Series, yes, sign me up.
The two of them would tear it up.
But in that same vein, who goes after Roman? I would see a triple threat between the three, which would be great. But I mean, Cena and Finn Balor, I feel like that's been a dream match for the last 5 years almost, and it just never seemed to happen. Obviously, because Finn was hurt a lot and Cena was, on the road in Hollywood. Saturday will be a very interesting night. Obviously, Friday with Dynamite or Rampage is, again, whatever people want to say. I don't care. That's going to play a big part in it. Obviously, we're talking about WWE, but AEW is starting to catch them, and I fully expect AEW Rampage to be extremely close. I don't think they'll catch them, but AEW Rampage is going to come very close to SmackDown this week.
There's no doubt in my mind that if something big happens on Friday that we're anticipating, and we'll get back to that in a moment. Yeah. But if something big happens on Friday, WWE will probably answer back in some way. Yes. Oh, absolutely. And
I the only thing I think is, like I said,
and if Cena wins, and that would make a big headline if he wins the 17 title. But if Cena wins, I don't see a long reign. I could see Roman getting it back. But I don't see a long reign there.
Like, what is the next pay-per-view? Is it?
Oh, I didn't even get that far yet.
Let me look. I'll look while you bring up the next topic.
So, all right. So we have one of the other big storylines on Raw is that we see Riddle and Randy Orton. Let me tell you something.
It's Extreme Rules.
For a new podcast that we're over a year old now, pushing a year and a half. Yep. We get a lot of things right. Let me tell you. And we predicted that it would be Randy Orton and Riddle versus AJ Styles and Omos. Yep. But let me just to be fair, Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming.
A blind stuck in the basement, Stevie Wonder could have seen.
So last week they tried to swerve us and have Randy Orton turn and play the part that he wants nothing to do with teaming with Riddle after Randy being gone for 6 weeks, saying that he works better on his own, yada yada yada. And then we see Randy Orton turn on Riddle last week. This Monday, we see them make up. Because somebody said if Cena wins, we riot. So I was at that ECW pay-per-view 2006 One Night Stand. Let me tell you something. That was the most hostile crowd I have ever been a part of at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
You were there?
I was there. And
crazy,
I honestly didn't remember half of it. I had to wait for it to come out on DVD like eight days later. But that's another story in itself. But
I did not know that. That's weird.
I was there, and that crowd was hostile. Like I've never seen it. Totally pro RVD that night.
Where's Hammerstein?
Hammerslide Ballroom is basically the same building as Manhattan Center. Right around the corner from Madison Square Garden. You got the Hammerstein Ballroom, but then upstairs, it's like a 20-story building, 15 to 20 story. Upstairs, above the Hammerstein Ballroom, is Manhattan Center,
and that's where they ran Raw, right?
That's where they ran Raw.
So they ran the same, like, where I read something where they had to like go up different elevators like 5 or 6 times to bring the whole ring up there? Like,
yeah, so there's a staircase for the. I've been in the building once. Been in the Manhattan Center once. That is, but there's a staircase for the fans to go up. But other than that, the only other way to get up there is elevator. So what they would do is they would transport the ring and the posts and everything through elevator up, down, and then it'll go right there into the room. So I can see the hassle that it was, which probably contributed to the reason why they moved out of there.
Yeah, exactly. It
would have been great if Raw stayed in there for a little while longer until I got older to be able to go to those shows. Because I was fairly young then when Raw was running there. I was only like 12 years old. So we see Randy Orton and Riddle are now back together, teaming up because when Randy Orton wasn't there for him early in the night, left Riddle to AJ and Omos. AJ Styles got the win over Riddle. Randy Orton kind of ditched him and went away. But on the flip side, during Randy Orton's match against Omos, we see Omos having control of the whole match for the most part, and then Riddle coming to the save for Randy Orton, and then they went the route where Randy says that Riddle earned his respect, and then we get a challenge. We get AJ and Omos. That leads to AJ and Omos versus Riddle and Randy Orton, which we originally predicted anyway. So, and I got RK. We called that many weeks ago. I got RK Bro winning the tag titles at SummerSlam.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Holding on for a little while. I know they just came out with merch and everything. I'm like, man, I can see them splitting up, but this is too early. There's a lot of legs under this.
That feud is inevitable. The fact that Randy and Matt Riddle will go at it at some point.
WrestleMania.
I would be 100% okay with that match at WrestleMania. I think that would be great. Riddle gets the win, makes it, kind of gives his career a jump start. Not that he needs it so far, but yeah, man. No, I agree with you. I fully think that they win this week and have that match at WrestleMania.
For those of you guys that are watching, make sure you throw your predictions in the comments. We want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah.
But moving forward, we got Lashley, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. We see their feud heating up. Goldberg with the spear on Lashley last night.
No, we don't need to talk about this one.
Very, very important. Very important because I think this is going to be a good car crash if they keep it at the proper length, like they did with Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania. I think this could be fun. I like a good 6-7 minute car crash with Goldberg, and hopefully they can pull off a decent one with Lashley. I think I somehow have Lashley winning.
Yeah, Lashley's not losing.
And somehow Lashley being knocked out or something to that effect. Like I feel like there's gonna be shenanigans going on, and insert Big E.
Yeah, I get.
So let me tell you, Big E has nothing going on this Sunday at SummerSlam. He's not in any match. He has nothing going on. Notice they've been quiet about Big E the past week or two. So they kind of want you to forget about Big E, and then all of a sudden, when he comes out, it'll be a surprise. I think he comes out this Sunday and cashes in, and a Big E will be walking out with the men's WWE Championship. What do you think, Tommy?
I like it. I don't see Lashley losing against Goldberg. Again, you need a big moment, as we talked about, and we'll get to more. I think Big E could be a big splash. I think that's definitely something that gets people entertained into to Monday Night Raw the following 2 nights later. It's still weird to think that SummerSlam's on a Saturday. I saw
this is the first time I've ever seen it. WWE ran SummerSlam for the first few years on Monday nights that I can remember. Exactly. It was Monday nights, and I think it was 95. They started on Sunday nights, and then it was always Sunday nights ever since.
It's weird. It's an interesting thing. I don't know if I like it so much. Obviously, we'll have our report after the show, but But yeah, I think I don't see Lashley losing the title in the slightest to Goldberg. Again, obviously it depends on where the card is. I'm sure Cena versus Reigns will be the main event.
That'd be the main event. Yeah.
If Cena doesn't win, I wouldn't be surprised if Big E walks out of the show, before as the champion. Again.
And let me tell you, I bet you Goldberg and Lashley are going to open up the show. I'm willing to bet that they're going to open up the show, or maybe the tag titles. But I think Goldberg Lashley open up the show.
You have to think that there's going to be a few. I think Ray and Dominic, they're fighting for the tag title.
Yeah, that'll be the middle of the show.
Or
pre-show.
I think that's pre-show.
Yeah, or pre-show.
You have to start SummerSlam out because, again, it is a big show. Obviously, it's one that outside of Rumble and in WrestleMania, it is the show. You got to start off with something, and I think like you said, Brock and Bobby Lashley is a really good start. I just don't know if they do the title change that quick. I don't know if Big E would win it at the beginning of the show. This seemed a little early for me. Maybe if it's in the middle of the show, I just don't know about beginning.
Well, wherever they place that match, I think Big E is cashing in. But I can see this starting off this. If you want to start off the show hot, I mean, you got to go Raw Tag Team Titles or Goldberg.
You got to go something big.
You have to kind of go Goldberg Lashley a little early and spread it and keep it a distance away from the main event, which we know is going to be Roman Reigns. Cena.
You have to start the show off strong. Again,
we gotta. They gotta start the show off. We got a comment before I get rid of it on my screen. Goldberg again. Come on, Vince needs to let go with the old timers. If they use Goldberg right in this situation, I don't mind. If they throw the championship belt on him, I'm right with you.
Nope, they will not. Please,
they can't.
It's tough to think about, but I really do think, and WWE will never admit this. Friday, I keep saying it. Friday is such a reactionary move for WWE. Whatever happens on Friday, whether it's Danielson, whether it's Punk, whoever it is, like there's something big happening on AEW Rampage, and I'm sure of it. And WWE will make a reactionary move on Saturday.
Oh, absolutely. SummerSlam is going to be a reaction show to Friday, I believe, for sure. Because listen. If CM Punk joins AEW, I mean, that's going to turn the dial towards AEW ratings and maybe more fans away from WWE, especially on the Friday nights when they're kind of like, I don't know. But, I mean, their shows aren't really overlapping, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you're going to see AEW ratings go up for sure. So WWE's got to hit a home run this weekend for sure. Another comment. When has Vince ever used Goldberg right? Well, I mean, they used him right at WrestleMania 33 against Brock Lesnar. Six. I am cool with the 7-8 minute car crash. A couple spears here and there. And Goldberg really hasn't had a title or anything. Listen, the longer the match goes, it could be terrible. But if it's booked right, booked the proper length, I think it'll be okay. I'm more concerned about the storytelling, and I'm not really concerned about the match as much as what's going to happen after the match. I think we're going to have a pretty good match. Somebody's got to explain this 05, 11, and 21 to me, CM Punk. I know 05, I think he debuted. 2011 was the summer Punk, and then I think 21 is what's going to happen. So I think that's what the 05-21 means.
Yes.
It's going to be a very, very interesting weekend. Moving on really quick. I don't want to talk too long about this one, but we have a new Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Good for him. They finally used him. Apollo had a pretty decent length of a reign, about 4 or 5 months. But I kind of feel like he fell off the last month or so. maybe a month or two.
It ended with a whimper. It was a good run lengthwise, but it ended with a whimper. That's about as good as I can say.
I totally agree. Shinsuke Nakamura with the IC title, good for him, and I hope that maybe they can continue to
They keep pushing
expound
him, man.
on Shinsuke Nakamura, and
It's almost 5 years.
WWE's got to make new stars because Roman Reigns is not going to be around for very long.
Shinsuke's the guy. I don't know why it's taken this long to finally kind of give him a push.
Listen, Shinsuke Nakamura still works. He's a great in-ring worker, and I think he's going to be a great worker for a few years to come, but he's not getting any younger either.
Exactly. It's the best way to put it. Maybe we'll see finally a intercontinental title run from Cesaro or something. Maybe they'll decide to actually not screw around and give him something.
I am going to make a bold statement right now. So we have Rey Mysterio and Dominic going against the Usos.
Yeah.
I have the Usos winning, Dominic turning on Rey Mysterio. What do you think?
Again, you need matches for SummerSlam. I like that. I think.
Or do you think that the SummerSlam match will be the beginning of more friction between father and son, leading to a future match?
I like the
Rey Mysterio and Rey versus Dominic Mysterio. That's going to happen. Father versus son. It's never happened. They're going to do it. I think it's going to be a retirement match for Rey Mysterio.
Sure,
I can see that happen.
100%.
Just a matter of when you do that. I think you do that at Mania.
I don't know if you could draw that story out for 3 months if it's Survivor Series or 8 months if it's WrestleMania.
Well, easily you could definitely do that. You could have Dominic put his father out of commission for X amount of months, and then have Rey Mysterio come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the
you build up Dominic as a heel for the next couple months till Survivor Series.
Let's have them win. Let's let them be champions for a minute. Let's Survivor Series. Maybe we start it. Royal Rumble, we do a match between them, and then WrestleMania, we do a retirement match. Because Ray deserves that retirement match.
Yeah, and I think that's happening between Ray and Dominic for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Since you mentioned SummerSlam as a reactionary show, there's a comment from Facebook. If Roman wins, the biggest pop I can imagine is if Brock shows up at the end. Maybe that could happen to start another feud.
Be crazy. That would be a
bold prediction. Bold prediction. Slight chance that will happen, but the sound from the crowd would be deafening. I totally agree. That might be a little slightly bold prediction, but maybe not. I mean, SummerSlam could be a good spot. Other than that, after SummerSlam, I don't know when you bring Brock back. I mean, they don't care about Survivor Series that much. And then you got the Rumble. So we'll have to see. It could happen.
It's not going to be if Punk isn't going to come back as a Rumble, which obviously he isn't, but that's been something that people have talked about for years. Like, you need somebody big, and Brock could be that guy.
Yeah, and absolutely. So let's talk a little AEW, why don't we? So as you guys know, CM Punk is trolling Twitter like crazy. If you guys haven't followed his tweets, you should go follow. But again, news came out that the Rampage at the United Center for this Friday night sold 12,000 tickets just like that.
It's happening. It has to happen. It has to.
You're in Chicago. I mean, listen, this is what I say. If we don't see Punk between now and All Out, if we don't see him by All Out, he's never coming.
I'm not listening to that hate speech right there. He is coming out on Friday. He's debuting.
Heavy speculation. He's coming out on Friday, and I think he'd probably be coming out around 10:40. 10:45 to end the show.
He's doing a promo. He's doing a pipe bomb.
He is doing a big pipe bomb if that happens this Friday. Yes. I think if he's going to wrestle it all out.
No way.
If he's going to wrestle it all out, then I believe he would come to challenge somebody, which some people are saying Darby Allin. Darby Allin hinting at the
please.
greatest of the world. So that very well could happen. So a lot of talk, and then not to mention, we can't forget, we have Bryan Danielson waiting in the wings. Supposedly he's rumored to be at the Arthur Ashe show in Queens, New York.
Yeah.
Which I won't be at because I'm going to too many darn stuff. I'm going to the All Out, all 3 shows. I'll be going to baseball games in between. I'm going to Cleveland Indians game next week. Pirates game maybe the night before that. So there's a lot of baseball games. Just a lot of events I'm partaking in, and yeah, I gotta chill.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm going to one of the biggest pay-per-views, arguably probably one of AEW's biggest pay-per-view of all time up to
Not
this
even
point.
AEW. I think this is going to be one of the more, especially if Punk comes back. I mean, this is going to be one of the more.
Now let's backtrack a little bit. We saw the first Rampage, the opener of Kenny Omega versus Christian. Kenny Omega defending both the TNA titles, the Impact Championship and the TNA World Title. If those of you guys that are listening, I don't know how that works. The 2 separate world titles in there.
The TNA title is now retired.
Yeah, that is crazy.
The Impact title is still around, but yeah,
so Christian is your new Impact World Heavyweight Champion.
Correct.
With a huge win over Kenny Omega. There was some shenanigans that were leading to that. Yeah, a good match. I can't ask for better out of Christian, to be honest with you. Coming back from 7 years and the ring rust and what have you. And I think Christian is wrestling a pretty good pace. He's having a great match. Now that he won the Impact title on Friday night at Rampage, leads me to believe that he will not be winning the AEW title at All Out.
There wasn't a shadow.
I honestly did not like Christian to begin with in the main event of All Out. I think the Hangman Page made the most sense. I'm just not too sure. Maybe they felt they weren't ready to pull that trigger, or maybe he wasn't getting over enough. I couldn't tell you what was going on with that, but it clearly looked like they were pushing for Hangman Page to get this main event spot at All Out against Kenny Omega. And then it seems like 3 weeks ago, they flipped the switch on that and decided to go in another direction, which I found kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this match kind of basically confirmed it. I didn't have a really doubt in my mind, but Christian's not beating Omega at All Out, which is fine. It still sets up the match for Full Gear, hopefully with Omega and Adam Page. But hey, man, I'm down for that. I'm down for a good match. Obviously, they showed that they can have a good match. I think the match at All Out will be good between Christian and Kenny Omega. Maybe we see Punk, maybe we see Danielson get involved. I think Danielson's got to fit in there at some point if he's being rumored so much. If he hasn't come out on Friday, he's got to fit in.
I don't think Danielson comes out on Friday. He might come out. Don't either, but come out NXT style.
He can get involved at All Out.
He may be introduced as he may just be in the crowd and they just introduce him NXT style, and then they make an announcement that he signed, and then
I don't know about that.
Do something like that.
I feel like Bryan Danielson is too big of a star for them to do the crowd thing.
So
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, Dave Smith, I can't wait till Friday either, man. It's going to be...
man. I'm the biggest CM Punk fan there is.
It's going to be a huge weekend coming up. And, we're kind of... there's just a lot going on.
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot going on. It's going to be a good weekend. Technically, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Monday for the Fallout.
And we got a long weekend ahead, man.
We do. We absolutely do. Jericho defeats Wardlow last week to set up their match, which I thought was going to be at All Out, and I thought that Jericho had to go through 5 people before going to MJF. Apparently, Jericho versus MJF is happening tomorrow night on Dynamite, which seems to be a stacked card, by the way.
matches tomorrow.
We're getting Jericho versus MJF. The stipulation is Jericho cannot use the Judas effect, and he can't come out to
Judas.
to the Judas theme song. So, but
We got
guaranteed.
Sting coming out tomorrow for first match in 20 years?
Yes, and Jurassic Express challenging for the AEW World Tag Titles against the Young Bucks.
Isn't also like Sean?
I think I have a
Guerrero?
sneaky feeling Jurassic Express is winning the titles.
I don't know if they do it that close to All Out. It could happen.
I don't even think the Young Bucks even have a match scheduled yet for All Out.
They don't, but I have heard a rumor that
unless you set up a rematch.
I have heard that if they don't do Darby versus Punk, it could be Punk and Danielson versus the Young Bucks. Me too, David. I've been waiting 7 years, man. I'm the biggest CM Punk fan there is.
Every time a wrestling event comes to Chicago, there's always a rumor about CM Punk, whether it's AEW or NXT or WWE. Always a rumor, but I feel like this is the most legit rumors. This is the closest that we've seen. But
it's happening. It's no more rumors, man. I'm done with them. It's happening this week. I'm guaranteeing it. Just say Deep Six Pro Wrestling guarantee.
Yeah, see, listen, the ranking system is there. It's online. You can go on their website, but they make mention to it when it's convenient. They use the ranking system a lot, and they mention the ranking system a lot to tell you who the next number one contender is.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. They to tell you who's next, but
I feel like they need to shove the ranking system in our face a little bit more. Sometimes they deviate from the ranking system, which doesn't even make sense. So it's either they gotta stick with it 100%, and build your feuds off of that, or just do away with the ranking system.
100%.
I think it's unique. So how did Jericho jump then? I don't know. How did Jericho jump? I haven't checked the ranking system.
He's friends with a lot of EVPs, so that's about as good of an answer we can give you.
So listen, this pretty much covers everything that I had in my lineup. I mean, we just got such a great week. Oh, okay, yeah, Dragunov versus Walter. That very well could be the match of the weekend. This is where they messed up, and we could talk a little NXT here. And this is totally off the cuff, because I don't even have any NXT notes. But we got Dragunov versus Walter this weekend, and it could be the match of the weekend. I'm not too sure. They pulled a bad move last Wednesday in NXT by having Dragunov lose to Pete Dunne. Because logic would have it that Pete Dunne should automatically be the number one contender since he beat the challenger for Walter. So it made no sense for Dragunov to lose last Wednesday. It does not end Dragunov's first match on NXT TV on the American brand. So Dragunov does not look that strong heading into NXT Takeover 36. It's going to be a great match, and I'm just not too sure. He could. Walter's had this belt for over 2 years now, 2.5 years. And and Tommy, be jealous. I was at that match with Walter winning. I think he defeated Pete Dunne. I was at that match in Brooklyn. So Walter's had a great reign. He's had a long reign. I'm just not too sure if Dragunov is the guy for that. I mean, I would like to see them revisit Tyler Bate or Pete Dunne, in my opinion, to get that belt back. So we'll have to see. But at NXT TakeOver 36, we're going to have Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to win here. Adam Cole is going to go somewhere. He could be either called up to the main roster, or he could find himself on another TV program altogether.
Yep, 100%. I don't think he stays in WWE. Sadly, I just don't see it.
It could. I mean, listen, the contract's got to be favorable, but I mean, he just, some of his friends just got released like the night of that Vince was pitching Adam Cole to stay with the company, so that's not a good look right there. But a lot of people in NXT, like your Garganos, Tommaso Ciampas, they're afraid to come up to the main roster because of how they've been used all these years.
Exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
and I can't even tell you. Listen, I get the fact that not everybody could be a title holder, but at least book these guys with importance. You had Karrion Kross, your NXT champion, lose to Jeff Hardy, and to Karrion Kross's first night. I mean, and they kind of fixed that.
It's not like he was a past champion. He is your champion. He's fighting Samoa Joe on Sunday as the champion.
I don't.
Jeff Hardy. But he's losing to Jeff Hardy.
Dave, I don't think match of the year is going to go to Walter or Dragunov, but it'll be a good match. I mean,
their last match was good as hell, man. Their last match was good as hell. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know match of the year. I already have a pick for my match of the year that I really enjoyed.
Adam Cole, it's going to be very interesting to see where Adam Cole goes. I mean, listen, the whole aftermath, no pun intended, the whole aftermath after the SummerSlam weekend, the aftermath is going to be very interesting to see what's going to be happening. Monday's going to be a very, very important night. It set the tone for the fall for sure. What else? I feel like I'm missing something. You got Karrion Kross defending his title against Samoa Joe, and I think Samoa Joe is getting that title back. Karrion Kross will be officially full-time on the main roster for sure.
Well, the way he's being booked, Samoa Joe better win.
And WWE seems to be like they're behind Karrion Kross for now.
Behind him? What do you like in
Karrion Kross has been basically winning every week. He hasn't lost since that first match.
I don't know if they're behind him yet.
I think they might be a little behind him.
I don't think he I don't think he retains on Sunday.
No. Karrion Kross is losing that title. He's losing that title Sunday.
I think in 2 weeks he'll be a random mid-carder. Which sucks.
Don't say that. Do not say that.
It sucks, and we both agree on that. But
I feel like Karrion Kross brings like something to look forward to on the Raw roster. For
he
sure.
does. But unless they bring up Scarlett, I just don't.
They need to bring up Scarlett with Kross because I don't know. Like I just feel like Karrion Kross is a little out of sorts with that entrance. I feel like he's missing.
Good.
I feel like he knows he's missing something.
100% agree.
So we got that match going on. So NXT Takeover 36 is going to be a very, very good event. So we got a lot going on this week. We got Friday Night SmackDown, which is the go-home show.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm not watching that. I'm watching AEW Rampage.
Well, listen, there's SmackDown's 8 to 10. You can watch Rampage afterwards.
I know, but I've been waiting, man. I can't tell you enough, man. I literally have told my parents. I'm like,
well, just think of SmackDown as the appetizer.
That's fair, but I've told my parents, I'm like, look, I'm coming home. I want to watch it on the big TV. We're watching Rampage, like my favorite wrestler. I've been waiting for this moment for 7 years.
I will be watching Rampage live. I will skip SmackDown if I have to.
I will not miss that pop.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I don't care if my dog has got a pee or nothing. I'm
watching that live. I don't need people blowing up my phone and with spoilers for sure.
There's no way I'm missing Rampage live, man. I have been waiting for this moment. This is the realest it's felt in 7 years. Like I've been waiting.
SummerSlam from Vegas Saturday night from 7 to 11. We will be coming on this show with the Aftermath post show. For those of you guys who know, we're transitioning from Deep Six Podcast to Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. So we'll let you know when that's official. But
a little slow on that because I'm moving to a new job, but we're getting there, man. We're putting it on there.
So this Friday, this Saturday night, we'll come at you with a quick reaction in a half hour for the Aftermath. There would be a lot of viewership on that. So make sure those of you guys that are watching, please share this with your friends. Send it out. I will tell you this much: we're a new podcast, but we are also the hardest working podcast. We're going to be with you guys
every week,
especially the WrestleMania weekend. We went 5 straight days, but this weekend we're going to be something close to that, maybe like 2-3 days at most,
4 days at most, with aftermath of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, probably even Monday too, if Summerslam
something big happens. For sure. So we got such a good weekend ahead, and for those of you guys that are watching, next weekend I'll be in Cleveland for the Red Sox. I have to catch a Cleveland Indians game before they change their name to the Guardians, and then that'll be my 20th stadium, believe it or not. So I'm gonna catch that. We might squeeze in the Pirates game because that's kind of on the way to Cleveland, perfectly on the way. So that could be happening. I don't know what my attendance will be like next weekend. But we'll figure the rest out.
I'll be here.
Tommy will probably be taking control of the show if I can't get on.
Sure.
Or Tommy may start the show and I may just hop on randomly. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen that weekend? The weekend after we got Dynamite. We have Rampage. And then 2 days after that, we have All Out. And there's days off in between too, which is great because I can hop onto a show. I'll have my laptop with me in Chi-Town. I'll be coming live from Chi-Town. Tommy live from Indiana as usual. So it's going to be a pretty cool. Hopefully I can manage to get the Sears Tower in the background.
I don't get around.
But listen, you will eventually. You will soon now.
One day.
You will soon now, for sure. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just thank you so much for hopping on and watching with us. We love the interaction, just being able to talk to other wrestling fans and just hang out and chill and talk about this stuff. But this is a very big weekend, so make sure you guys subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I see a couple people watching right now. Make sure you guys are all subscribed. This way you get the alerts, and then share with your buddies. Help us out, get the word out there that we are here. We will be very present this weekend, especially All Out weekend. I cannot wait. For those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. Tommy, any last words?
Again, I don't know how much I've stressed it, but man, this is the most I've ever been excited as a wrestling fan. Like, I've been waiting for this moment. I am the biggest CM Punk fan that there could ever be. Like, this is the time that I've been waiting for as a fan, and I hope I'm not the only one, because this is the year of wrestling that we've all been waiting for, and AEW has made it so much fun, and the fact that it's SummerSlam weekend too, like I couldn't imagine a better week of wrestling.
Tommy is gonna have some good dreams this weekend.
Exactly, I really am, man. I've been waiting 7 years for this.
Listen, we kind of all have in a way, but alrighty, guys, thank you so much for watching. That pretty much wraps up our show. We will be back with you this weekend. We will be very present this weekend. We're excited to be able to talk about SummerSlam. I've been waiting for this for weeks. We've been talking about the build-up for weeks, and it's finally here. So that wraps up episode 71. We might come back with a special Friday night, especially if CM Punk wins. Shows up on Friday.
Yeah,
we're gonna come on with a special. That's absolutely happening.
If Wayne's not here, I guarantee you I will be.
Tom will just run the show himself, but I'll be here. I will be here for that. That is happening.
I've been waiting, man.
Saturday night, SummerSlam immediately after the show. Sunday night, pretty much after the show.
Yeah,
we'll hop on and then we'll go from there. But alrighty, guys, thank you so much for watching, and you both have an awesome night.